What's good, YouTube? It's your boy 860Chris, aka Juice God K, aka K with the K, and I'm back with another YouTube video, man. Hey, listen, I gotta show y'all something, bro. Y'all see that boy get Aki and shit, you feel me? That boy been hitting the weights. Fuck you talking about? Now listen though, we about to react to a video that got sent to me. The Eagles run a high school offense. Listen, bro, I just want you to understand one thing, right? For the motherfuckers that's counting us out still. Take a quick look at this. Just take a quick peek, bro. Okay? We're going through the same thing they're going through, bro. Do not count us out. Our season is not over. Yes, bro, I know there's been some turmoil amongst coaches, the players, play calling, this, that, and the third. But listen, as long as the leaders are stepping up, leading the way for the players that actually play the game, fuck the coaches. Because it's the players that got to play the game at the end of the day. That's all that matters. A.J. Brown stepping up, showing his leadership. And we know how he get. He a tweaker. He be tweaking sometimes. Jalen Hurts showing his leadership. As long as our best players are coming in with the right mindset, bro, we can accomplish anything. Slay about to come back too. Yes, I know, we're a wild card team now. I understand that. Y'all seen what happened with the Bengals 2 years ago? That shitty O-line they had? The Giants beating the undefeated Patriots 07? Anything could happen, man. Especially with this season too, it's definitely up for grabs. Anything can happen. Stop counting us out, bro. But listen, you about to react to this video about our offense, bro. Honestly, bro, it's really not our players, bro. It's our coaches making this shit division more convoluted than it needs to be. Our offense really isn't that bad. Like, we're top 10 in a lot of categories, bro. And that's just the talent showing, because it's coaching, that's the real fucking problem. They keep using these ass Madden plays like, bro, what the fuck is we doing? Can we utilize our players to their fullest potential, my nigga? We're putting our players in a box, literally. Running the most predictable plays ever. All these fucking QB draws, inside zones, wide receiver screens. It's not getting the job done, bro. Fuck.
The Eagles' offense, from a systemic perspective, has several problems. That much is obvious at this point. But not all problems are created equal. And by that I mean Jalen Hurts is getting most
Shit's so frustrating, bro.
Of the blame, when to be honest, if you
no
watch
bullshit, Jalen Hurts not even playing that bad. He's really not playing that bad. The only matter of fact, he's not playing bad at all. Only thing that's really gotten worse is the turnovers, bro. He's still scoring at a high rate. Like, bro, this should have been a leap year for him.
Pull all the relevant data for what this Eagles offense actually does very poorly.
He should have took another step this year.
Jalen's been fine. Not great, like really not great, but not terrible. Just kind of fine. And hell, even I myself have been guilty of that tunnel vision on Hurts too in the past. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm better than anybody else in the media. But my goal today is to at least try to set the record straight on what's actually wrong with the Eagles offense from a systemic level, so that if we're going to criticize everything that's going wrong with Philly, we can at least...
This music elegant as shit. See, I was just getting worked up, but that should calm my nerves. Damn.
Criticize the right things. Also, by the way, quick PSA, because
like
I didn't know where else to put this in the show, but if you happen to be a fan of our podcast, the Bootleg Football
bro.
Podcast, which is
to the point, my guy.
Bootleg Football channel, for now, let's get to the reason why you're actually here.
The offense, I got to look at the main guy.
The 1 seed is now gone. It's gone. And all of a sudden, the division is in question.
All my buddies who are Eagles fans are freaking out. It's hard to put your finger on exactly what's going on with the passing game. You got to start to wonder with this Philly team.
You know who we should bring back, bro? Frank Reich. We should bring that man back. I think that will help a lot.
Going to be able to work their way out
to create this big mess of frustration, and we're going to go through those problems one by one today and show you how they all fit together as we go. And spoiler alert, by the way, Jalen Hurts' pocket skills and the Eagles' overall inability to handle blitzes are not two of those main problems. Yes, they are issues, but they're not the main issues, and they certainly are not what has rotted the core of this offense. What has rotted that core is the following: Problem number one is their lack of explosiveness in the run game, which I would argue is the fault of how their shotgun-centric offense is designed to begin with.
Yeah, bro, we always in shotgun too.
Reliance on that shotgun run game has directly led to their play-action passing game being among the worst
shotgun
in the entire NFL, and therefore their explosiveness in the passing game has also been not that great. And problem number three, of course, is how their bottom-of-the-barrel motion percentage has made everything way, way harder on Jalen Hurts and his receivers than it needs to be, which then also contributes to their lack of ability to handle blitzes, and it contributes to Hurts holding the ball forever when his receivers can't get open and taking unnecessary sacks. Like I said, these primary problems are what led to all the secondary and tertiary problems that seem to be getting the most attention these days, but ideally, by the end of this show, you're going to understand how they all fit together. So we're going to start things off by talking about the first problem on the docket, the run game. Philadelphia is an overwhelmingly shotgun-centric offense, to the point where after 15 weeks of football...
Bro, yo, 14? 14. Even Cincinnati, who's second to last, has twice the amount of our attempts. 14, bro?
The Eagles have only called...
See, listen, I knew our shit was ass. Like, I feel like that was obvious, like, looking at it, but I ain't never got into the depths of it, like the number side of it. That's fucking ridiculous.
14 dropbacks the entire season that were not from the shotgun, which is dead last in the NFL, obviously. And not to be outdone, the Eagles running backs themselves also have the fewest carries from non-shotgun formations as well, at only 61. For those doing the math at home,
I think he should be feeding Swift more, but I feel like this is a result of all the touch pushes and shit
that are either from under center
or
from the pistol. While for comparison's sake, the
shit's
Rams,
still wild,
Lions,
though.
49ers,
Like, what the
and Dolphins
fuck?
typically have between 17 to 20 runs from under center per game. It's not even
ridiculous.
Close. And so as a result of that reliance on shotgun formations, the Eagles' run game is extremely predictable and also very below average in terms of generating chunk plays. In fact, if you just look at rushing concepts where running backs are the designated ball carrier and not the quarterback, Philly calls inside zone 53% of the time this year when they run the ball, which is first in the NFL. And they call it
that's so
because
ridiculous.
The blocking scheme of inside zone and the angle of attack for a running back when they're running inside zone just fits a shotgun formation really well. By contrast,
I don't really pay too much attention to the numbers like that. Like I said, like I'm not on the Eagles coaching staff. But for the people who are, like, are y'all not paying attention to this? Are y'all not looking at the analytics? Are y'all not doing y'all research? Nobody's in y'all ear telling y'all this shit. 53% of the time, bro. Nobody wants to switch 9 up. When you see this shit not working. And I ain't gonna lie, Nick Sirianni, you on a hot seat with me.
Outside zone from the gun. Again, not inside zone.
You on a hot seat with me because you going for this shit. And it was like you not even...
has to get almost parallel to the line of scrimmage just to try to hit the front side of that concept. And it makes it really hard to hit the cutback lane because the cut is way sharper when the running back has to go that flat down the line. And it's just an awkward concept to run from shotgun for that reason, especially compared to when you're running outside zone from under center, where the angle of attack is way more manageable for a running back when they are coming from depth. And so the cutbacks are a lot quicker and more decisive when you're running that from under center, and therefore the concept overall has more potential for explosive gains. Again, from shotgun, the angles are just not good. So the Eagles...
telling y'all right now, if we had competent coaches, we'd be 17-0 right now.
Generally
or 16-0, about to be 17-0.
I would argue that shotgun power concepts are a little awkward as well compared to when you run power
predictable.
From under center or in the pistol.
Either a run up the middle or a fucking QB draw.
Zone, yes, but still not ideal. And that's why the Eagles basically do
That's
not
our only
run
2 run plays
at all either. They've only done it 9 times all season long. But anyway, I digress.
Shit giving me a headache right now,
that
bro.
is an absolutely outrageously high percentage of calling just one style of run, but they kind of have to call it that often because they spend so much time in shotgun. That conscious decision on the Eagles' part, by the way, is especially outrageous when you consider that, statistically speaking, Inside zone is one of the least effective runs in football at generating explosive plays. League-wide, inside zone results in an explosive gain, meaning a gain of 10 yards or more, just .8% of the time. Only duo is worse among all core run concepts at 7.
This the formula? Nick Sirianni, Brian Johnson, this the formula, bro? Y'all not doing your homework for real.
5%. And to be honest, inside zone and duo are basically cousins. They are extremely similar concepts to one another. And the reason why they're not that explosive is because their main purpose as a concept is to get 4 or 5 yards when you really need 4 or 5 yards. It's all about reading it out in between the tackles, getting downhill when you get a crease, or even if you don't get a crease, keeping the offense.
It's like we're not even trying to win.
Doing your best to get into a short yardage situation on 3rd down, so the tush push can do the rest.
Like, that's so conservative, bro. What the fuck?
That is what the Eagles do. Lather, rinse,
so fucking
repeat.
ugly.
And just to be clear, by the way, that's fine.
Oh
the
my
Eagles
God,
running backs
bro.
as a position group are 8th
Nigga.
in the NFL among all running back groups.
Bro, Mighty Mike's football, Pop Warner football has more creative play calling than this. I've seen it. That's the funny part. I've seen it, bro.
Yards per carry at 4.4, which is about what you can expect from your typical inside zone.
Not even high school. Pop
and there's
Warner.
not a whole lot wrong.
Mighty
with that.
Mites.
But I will say that realistically, there is a drawback to this
Talking
philosophy that I
preteens,
don't think
little
the Eagles
kids.
accounted for, and it's that they are now kneeling before the holy altar of monotonous efficiency and completely sacrificing their ability to get explosive plays. When you really look at how this offense operates, because they call inside zone so much, they are 21st in the league at generating explosives with their running backs and only get about 1.7 of them per game. That's not very many, of course, which means the burden of getting chunk plays for this offense rests almost entirely on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts and his receivers. And so if Hurts
He's
or
still
his
doing this
receivers
thing.
have an off game, this team is pretty much dead in the water because they don't have any other ways to win. I mean, they do have other ways, but they actively choose not to use them because of how they line up every play. When you look around at the best offenses in the league, they run a bit of everything, and they for damn sure run concepts like counter, power, and outside zone more often, and get their running backs to the edges more often with those concepts so that they can actually generate explosive plays and not make their quarterbacks have to do all the heavy lifting.
Like, why we can't do that? Why we can't do that? It's not like we don't have the personnel either. Why we can't do that? We have all the talent in the world. One of the best teams on paper.
The Eagles don't do that. And that brings us back to problem number 2, which is how that intentionally stale and dying of their run game and their lack of running from under center has also had the consequence of ruining Philadelphia's play-action passing game as well. How's that for
Like,
a
bro,
tease?
we have an offense of DeAndre Swift, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, an amazing O-line. Not to mention Zacchaeus, he's playing I-8 too. I mean, why we wouldn't be able to switch it up, run damn near every play, and execute them at a high level with those names I just listed. I'll be damned.
By the way, did I properly bait the hook for you to stick around for the next minute while I explain how this episode was made possible? But still, you get the point. There's only a few days left.
Like, we brought Kelsey back for this shit, bro.
Arrived at one of the most time-honored traditions of this channel. Brett
Best
making an
center of all
episode
time
in the
for
very
this?
last week of the month because he has a deadline for Factor that he really has to hit. If you somehow don't know this already, Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier
listen,
than ever
I
by
don't give a
delivering
fuck,
fresh,
my nigga.
never frozen,
Tell me about my team.
dietitian approved. Back to it. Buckle up because we're talking about shotgun formations again. When looking at the most explosive passing games around the NFL, they all share a lot of similarities, but what stands out the most is their use of being under center. In fact, 7 of the top 8 passing offenses in terms of explosive pass percentage are in the bottom half of the league in their usage of shotgun formations. They go under center
Texans.
a lot more often, and in particular,
Texans
the
have a
top
better
3 teams
offense
by
than us.
a wide margin, San Francisco, Miami, and Houston, all come from the Kyle Shanahan coaching tree. or our Kyle Shanahan himself, obviously. The Shanahan offense and the many variations of it around the NFL are known for putting their quarterbacks under center.
Listen, if we had Shanahan, bro,
run game,
yo,
any concept at any time, and
you be dropping 40 every game.
Where the quarterback turns their back to the defense and really sells that fake so that the pass rush will slow down and play a run that isn't actually coming, and so that the linebackers will suck up and create more space over the middle of the field. The whole system is designed to attack this intermediate middle area and creating opportunities for high percentage throws that are still down the field and well past the sticks, but are much easier to complete than a 30-yard shot play down the sideline. And these throws over the middle also have an added bonus in that they can result in big yards after catch opportunities when the middle of the field is vacated. When you look at how the Eagles' play-action passing game is designed, however, it's basically the exact opposite. Again, they do not really go under center ever, so they don't utilize longer developing, harder play-action fakes ever, which makes it really tough to actually manipulate linebackers to clear out the intermediate middle of the field, because those linebackers can just quickly read the quarterback giving a little bullshit fake from the shotgun while staring them in the eyes, and then drop back into their zones and go about their day. If you look at Philadelphia's
make their job
target
so
map
easy.
on play-action passes specifically over the course of the entire season, they only have 12 passing attempts that are targeted from the numbers and in at a depth between 10 to 25 yards down the field. That is 23rd in the league and puts them in the company of the Patriots, Jets, Saints, Bears, Panthers, Giants, and Steelers, just to give you an idea of the other offenses in that range that refuse to work the middle of the field.
Very motivating,
Meanwhile,
very encouraging.
Houston, one of the best offenses in the NFL, has more than double that number at 29. San Francisco, again, another elite offense, has 19, which is.
And listen, when I was talking about the
by
Texans, bro, that was not a shot at them, bro. Because the Texans are actually decent, but they're not better than us
by their standards, but still 7th in the NFL. And Miami, get this, has 38, which leads the league and is more than 3 times as many as Philadelphia this year. And ultimately, those numbers are a big contributing reason why the Dolphins, Texans, and 49ers are 1st, 2nd, and 3rd respectively in explosive receptions this year, while the Eagles are treading water.
Get these frauds off my screen.
With only one more explosive passing play than the Derek Carr-led Saints. Everything the Eagles
only go
do
crazy
feels
against
like
bums.
it's to make the sport as hard as humanly possible. They're constantly taking
Ben
shots
made that
at
Miami
A.J. Brown
pack.
down the sideline
Come on
and
now.
hoping that he just overwhelms whoever's covering him. They don't even bother to manipulate defenses to open up the middle of the field. They don't have a diverse run game that can generate explosive plays and take pressure off of Jalen Hurts. It's all just difficult. But perhaps their worst crime of all, and honestly, this pisses me off more than anything else they do, and it's the third pillar of this episode, is the fact that the Eagles coaching staff absolutely refuses to use motion. Philadelphia has the lowest shift in motion percentage in the NFL, and it's the lowest by a lot. They are the only team in the league that is under 30%. Even the Panthers, Cardinals, and Jets are almost at 40%. And what that lack of motion does is it makes the offense static, which then means the opposing defense has more freedom to either blitz the absolute hell out of them because everyone's standing still and they don't really need to make any coverage adjustments right at the snap, or alternatively,
gotta use
they
their
can just
brains,
play their
bro.
receivers in tight man coverage and not give free releases ever because nobody's moving around. When you study the top offenses
Like, bro,
in the
football
league,
should be a
basically
game of
all
chess, my nigga. Not checkers. Chess.
them are very
We're making this
motion-heavy.
shit checkers.
Miami, San Francisco, and Houston, again, of course, as well as the Rams, Lions, and yes, even the Cowboys. When those teams are using all of that motion, the main reason why they're doing it is to force DBs to back off and adjust as the ball is being snapped so that the receivers can get free releases. It's not just about making them redo their count if they're in a match zone coverage or something like that, which obviously that's important too, but it's mainly about forcing them to concede space early in the route, because if a receiver is given space for free early in the route, it can help them dictate to that corner and not the other way around. Football at its core is a game of space. He who can control space and influence it will generally win the game. So the Eagles actively choosing not to use motion to control or influence DBs into giving space and making life easier for A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, that's just one of the weirdest coaching decisions that I've seen all season. Again, it's almost like they want to make the game as hard on themselves as they possibly can. Their entire philosophy is just lining up and trying to out-talent everybody. Put A.J. Brown outside against press coverage and tell him to go win. Run DeAndre Swift into a brick wall over and over and over again and tell him to go win. Get into short yardage and do a tush push and tell your offensive line to just go win. Or if you're in a long yardage situation and
no plan, bro,
or your offensive linemen are not winning, just tell Jalen Hurts to do it all by himself and go win with this.
It's like this shit just recess or something. No plan whatsoever.
Same formations and concepts in Indianapolis, but at least the guy does it.
Listen, bro. Y'all see Jalen Hurts still doing his shit right, so y'all need to shut the fuck up with all this system QB talk. It don't work for Jalen, okay? He's not. I'm not even gonna say his name, but he's not a system QB. All right. He was performing last year. He's performing this year. He was definitely performing at Oklahoma. If it wasn't for Joe Burrow, he would have won Heisman. Believe that. Fuck you talking about?
In a way,
nigga fucked up. He's still performing,
they use
bro.
Motion way more often. They attack the middle of the field off of play action at the fourth.
These coaches, they just make it so hard on everybody.
Acknowledge
it's not even just Jalen. It's everybody, bro.
And they call them sometimes.
Put everybody in a box.
Go figure. It looks like a real
I'm really
offense,
talking over
even with
my
Gardner
fault.
Minshew at quarterback. And over and over again, and tell him to go win. Get into short yardage and do a tush push and tell your offensive line to just go win. Or if you're in a long yardage situation and your receivers or your offensive linemen are not winning, just tell Jalen Hurts to do it all by himself and go win with his legs. Say what you want about Shane Steichen running a lot of the same formations and concepts in Indianapolis, but at least the guy does it in a way that makes sense. They use motion way more often. They attack the middle of the field off of play action at the fourth highest rate in the NFL. And they at least acknowledge that outside zone runs exist. And they call them sometimes. Go figure. It looks like a real offense, even with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. To me, when I watch this Eagles offense, it looks like they put Shane Steichen's playbook into ChatGPT and asked for a summary, and they're just calling their offense based on the summary rather than the actual playbook because reading is for nerds.
Oh my
and yes,
God.
that is a joke, but honestly, I don't think I'm that far off.
You're not.
I guess what I'm really trying to say here is, if you thought the Eagles' defense being bad is the reason they're not going to win the Super Bowl, you're actually wrong. The reason they're not going to win the Super Bowl is because their defense is bad and their offense is bad at the exact same time. How's that for analysis? All right, that'll wrap it up for me this week. If for some godforsaken reason you want to see more of me every single week, we do put out 2 podcasts a week over.
Listen, bro. I'm not saying it's impossible. With how it's looking right now, it will definitely be a fucking task. This shit's gonna be hard as fuck, bro. And then we got the defense, which is a whole nother story. Oh my God. Oh, how are we 11-5, bro? We're 11-5 all straight skill and talent, bro. That's crazy. We even scratched the surface at all this season. Like, it's evident the coach is not gonna switch up what they doing. So, if we were to really win, it'll take nothing but straight sheer power and dedication, bro. Like, I'm talking like really digging deep, like on some March Madness type of run, bro. It's really gonna take a lot. Fuck, bro. Oh, I waited all fucking summer for this. All spring and summer, bro. This is such a fucking disappointment, bro.